Hey guys, so I got a lot of questions on my everyday long wear, still full coverage makeup that I posted about. I think it was on Saturday, so I thought that I would do a video and just show you everything. So this is going to be a lot of stories. It is going to be in depth, so go ahead and grab some coffee, your lunch, some popcorn, just depending on the time that you watch this, because it is going to be lengthy, but I feel like that's what you guys... So, I obviously have nothing on my face, and I've got a couple little healing spots over here, just from awesome hormones. If you are a woman, then I know you know how that goes. It's a good day to show you how well this foundation works and covers. So yes, I obviously have wet hair, so I washed my face and did on my skincare the Vital C serum and moisture. And then I also just went ahead and threw a primer. I actually have not always used primers. I kind of started using a primer about a year or so ago, but I think it really just depends on like what your skin type is and if you think you need one. With this foundation specifically, you don't really need one because it is just so awesome and so full coverage and so long wearing. And I did want to also mention that I do not wear this like every single day. This is for days where you need like 15-hour budge-proof wear out of your makeup. On other days, I try to allow my skin to breathe a little bit more, but as far as like for your wedding day or for like a special event to be taking photos, this is just so amazing. So I have used this probably since the start of college, and I wish so bad that I would have used it in high school, but I just love this. Love my skin as well. I don't have any issues as far as it causing any breakouts or anything like that. So I posted this on my stories this weekend, and I just had a ton of questions. So I wear the shade Dusk. I will say that I feel like when it dries down, it does kind of oxidize a little bit and kind of pulls a little bit yellowy orange in my personal opinion. I'm pretty neutral, and then kind of pink in my cheeks naturally, especially if I get hot. However, I still feel like this is like a perfect match for me, and if I get a little bit of color just from the sun in the springtime, it still somehow blends seamlessly, so I really love that. I don't feel like I have to buy like a lot of shades. I also wear again sunscreen to take care of my skin, so if you are someone who just bakes in the sun, please don't do that. But if you are going to do that, then I don't know that you could stick with one shade like I can. I am so careful. So that's probably why I don't feel like I need to buy like 3 shades to match my summer color. But if I self-tan all over, then I don't feel like this kind of shows a big contrast, I guess, to my body, especially with some bronzer and stuff on top. So I really love that I feel like it just blends in most seasons for me. So yes, that's a thing to note as well. But again, I am the shade Dusk, and I think it is 3C to show you. And one bottle is going to last you such a long time because it is so full coverage on me, at least, that I don't need a lot. And I use it with my Real Techniques sponge. It is already damp, but it's very wet. I talked to somebody a few days ago that said that they didn't like this, and I think you have to be so careful with your application, because if you go in with like a I think my brush is dirty, but if you go in with this with like a thick dense brush instead of a sponge, I find that it is very cakey and way too full coverage, and there is such thing as too full coverage in my opinion. But with this damp, not soaking wet, and just a little bit in each area of your face, which I'll show you, it is just flawless, perfect all day coverage. And I also feel like the sponge kind of keeps your skin hydrated. Very oily in the T-zone, have large pores through here, just to give you like some background if you are a similar skin type to me. And this is just so amazing. So let's get started so that I can show you kind of what it looks like. You can order off Nordstrom, and I think also at like their standalone things like at the mall or something, and I think it's like $12, but you could keep it for all the bottles that I know you'll order because you'll be so in love with this. I personally just don't know. All I do personally, and you can just go ahead and put it on your face with your finger. I just like to put a little bit on my on my sponge and spread it that way, and it comes out really fast. So this is what it looks like, thicker but still runny consistency. And then I just hold all this weave back and just go to town, kind of putting it in these areas first, because I always seem to trouble areas in those spots. So that's kind of where I start. And wherever you start your foundation is where you're going to get the most coverage. So I kind of focus on the center of my face, and then I spread it out once I've kind of covered. And you can see instantly, even though there is some texture there from the breakout that I currently have, it completely takes away any redness, and it was plenty to go ahead and spread to my forehead. And make sure to blend down, like, and I'm just looking in my mirror if you're wondering, but make sure to blend down, of course, on your neck as well, because you don't want to have any lines. And I love this sponge. I think it's like $10, and you also can get a pack of 3, and it's so easy to clean it, and it's bigger than the original beauty blender, so I feel like you get more space covered, which makes your application go much quicker. So there we go. So as you can see, that is all that it took to cover my entire face, and I got really good coverage overall. Since I do have some breakouts, you just kind of like to go on the top and get the excess, which is like hardly anything, and just kind of go over those spots just one more time. And it does build extremely well if you have got acne or any skin issues that need a little bit of help, because we all sometimes have that. Okay, and if you are dry, I hear that a ton of people love it, like as far as different skin types. I, of course, can't vouch for if it works for dry skin well, because I've never had dry skin. Sometimes I really wish that I did, especially when I start to get very, very oily in the summertime, like all through here. But this is a really good. Okay, so next, and the main thing that I'm so excited to share today is how I just get such a bright under eye, which I've really been working on lately, because I just feel like I just need some extra life right there, and I think most of us do, unless you get like a night, and I know that I don't. So yes, I will show you how to get that super bright under eye. So foundation is on. That's my first step, of course. Some people do their eyes always just in a base first, but I also don't do like crazy eye looks. That's just never been me. I'm not like a loose sparkle lid type person. I go pretty neutral. If anything, I'll do like a little bit of like pressed shimmer in on my lid, but not anything crazy. So this is just a brush that I was sent from Doll 10, which is like a makeup brand, but any foundation one or any concealer brush is perfect for this. e.l.f. has some really good brushes, and I actually use, let me see, this e.l.f. brush right here, and it's the Flawless Concealer Brush, and I will be using this to kind of blend and pat in the powder afterwards, which I'll show you. But this is an awesome brush. Highly recommend you going and buying $2 at Target, and this is just an awesome brush. The size is really good, and it's also good to press in your powder in your pores to kind of fill those as well. So love this brush. Go and buy like 10 of these, because you never want to be without it. But I just had this on hand, so I'll just go in with this since I only have one of those. But this is the under eye brightening corrector from Becca, and I watched a few videos before I ordered it just to see like what I would think on the application and if it really works. And it has very mixed reviews as far as if it's worth the price tag, because this small thing is $32. However, you literally need like, because it is very full coverage in my personal opinion. So I just put some on this brush, and I mainly start in the corner because for me that's where I get the darkest. So I'm looking in the mirror, but I will see it. And it looks like a lot, but I don't like pull it all the way down. Some people do, but I really just like to focus it kind of right underneath the eye and in the corner, because that's where I get. So this is one eye with it and one eye very obviously without. So for me, I really think that it's worth it. I think that it looks really pretty and creates a really good base for your concealer, because you'll actually go in with your concealer. But if you're not like a makeup-y person, then this would probably be a really good just kind of stopping point for you. You will want to set this because it does have like a very tacky texture, but you actually want that because it's going to grab onto your under eye, make sure that everything stays put. So for me, it works for, of course, for tons of brightening, but also it's kind of like a primer for the under eye, and you could also spread it onto your lid and use it as a primer as well. So I think that the difference is really pretty. I think it is awesome. Some people say that it creases, but if it creases on you, you're probably not setting it with the right thing or using the right concealer on top, or you're just using way too much. It looked like a lot, but it was not at all. I spread it out, and I don't add any more. So now I'm just going to go in on the other eye. Same exact thing, kind of focusing right underneath the eye and on the inner corner. And it's kind of like a pale pink. That's a really good color, and I'll be bringing some pink powder in here in a second, which sounds really crazy, but that is just going to really brighten the under eye a ton. Any kind of pink tone is really good for brightening. And you also can use this kind of to get any redness around the nose, because hormones kind of cause some redness around the nose area, so it's good for that too. So as you can see, nice and bright from that underneath. Okay, so there's no need to wait or anything. You can if you want to, but make sure to continuously pat out the lines underneath your eyes that everybody has, because it will settle there, and we don't want that. Because as soon as you throw some powder on, which I'll show you in a minute, it will like set those creases there, and we don't want that. So next I'm going to go in with this Tarte concealer. It's not my absolute favorite, but my favorite concealer, so I need to go and buy some. I think I'm going to try a new kind, but I'll just use this because we have it today. So this one, I do go in a complete triangle, and I know that this looks like a lot. Anyways, I was saying, I know that this looks like a lot, but if you do it in this shape, it's not only going to brighten your under eye, but it's going to give you a really pretty lift to your face overall. And who doesn't want that? So, same thing over. And then I also like to use this just to highlight my face as well. And I'll just put a little bit right here, and then a little on my chin. I like to go back in with the same exact sponge. There is no reason to have multiple of these. If anything, if your concealer is too bright, it's nice to go back in with this, because there's probably still a little bit of the foundation, so it really helps to blend everything in seamlessly. To use this, and especially because these products are kind of thicker and tackier, and so I feel like the sponge kind of thins those out a little bit to make them to where they blend into your skin very seamlessly. And I like to do these areas first that I am highlighting, because I don't want to carry this much concealer all over my face. I want to keep that exactly where I want it. So, and we'll go this out. And this sponge just blends so well. And like I said, the size will help your application go really fast too. So I just love this sponge. And I do like to kind of bring this up on the eyelid for eyeshadow. And I will set that, of course, before. And I'll do the other side. Excuse my weird faces. I think everybody has, like, weird faces they make during makeup. Part of it. Just part. Except, not all of you have to go on video and, like, zoom in uncomfortably close on your face. Like I do, but that's okay. Okay. So everything is blended in, and you can see just from like the start of the video to now, I just have a very smooth and bright under eye. So I just love that combo. And I think I'm going to try the It Cosmetics under eye concealer, because I think that that's going to give me a really nice full coverage bright effect. So I will keep you updated on that one. That one, though, if you're interested in that one, is the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. It's a little bit too tacky for me personally. Okay. So now the liquid or cream products are fully on your face, so I like to go in and set. I really have been loving the Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder, and this is what it looks like on the back. I did get this one to see if I liked it, because I'm very picky about my finishing powders, but I really love this one, so I think I'm going to buy it in the full size as well. And I do use a lot of powder, A, because I'm oily, and B, because I like the way when everything is just nice and set. And this is my long wear look, so this plays a huge part as far as long wearing goes. So make sure that all the creases are patted out underneath your eyes. And then you're going to go in, same as dip into that powder. And then I take it up onto the eyelid as well. So you're just going to set that, and you can kind of see, and I've got like a really bright light in front of me from the side to the side, just how nice and set and matte, and this also will help to fill in those pores that are right there if you are oiling that area like I am. Can't ever have too much help for pores. And then same thing on this side. And you can use a sponge and for the powder for your entire face, and I think that a sponge kind of helps you not have that overly powder look to your skin. It really just helps everything to melt in. I really love it. But today I'm just going to go in with a fluffy brush. This is just from Target. I've had it for forever, so any brush for powder will do. But you don't want to swipe. You just want to press it into the skin because you don't want to move. You've done all the work that so keep that in mind. A little trick too, if you don't want your makeup to settle into the lines around your mouth, take this small fluffy brush and dip it into your powder and buff the powder into those lines. And not only will it soften them, which you can see instantly, but it will keep them from your makeup kind of sinking into there. And you also can pat the powder into your pores too to kind of fill them a little bit more. Same thing if you have some wrinkles across your forehead and you don't want to get injectables or Botox or something, this does help a lot. Okay, so if you look kind of like a corpse at this point, then for once in your life that is a positive, because that means you've set everything down and your base and your canvas for everything else is flawless and perfect and set for you have ahead. So everything is set down, and now we're going to go in with a product that I have been obsessed with, and this is the Too Faced Bronzed Peach Melting Powder Bronzer. So it like feels in the pan, but it actually sets to a powder. So a lot of you are probably thinking, oh my gosh, she's about to put a cream on top of a powder. But the way that this feels on the brush and blends into your skin, it sets as a powder. So you're actually able to use this either or, which I really love. And I'm going to show you how pretty the color is. You can use a sponge on this. I personally have really been liking a brush much better just because of the way that it blends, and I feel like the sponge kind of takes away a lot of the color of this product. So I like to go in with the real techniques, and I don't know what the number or anything is on this one. Let's see. No, it just says Real Techniques. But any brush will do. I like to go in with like a smaller head brush because you're going to be putting it in some contour areas a little bit more defined. So I just go in with this cream to powder product, and it also smells like peach, which is just so nice, and it smells so delicious. And then I'm just going to hit all the places contour, and the reason that I like this is because not only is it going to warm up your skin, but it also is going to give your face some structure, and if you have an oval face shape or round face shape like I do, then we can take all the help that we can get. So I really love that, and it's just going to bring so much life back to your skin. And then I will go back in on my nose, but it's still nice to just throw a little bit of color like across the bridge, just where the sun would naturally hit you. Go heavy on the forehead area because I get a lot of sun there naturally, and so I like to make sure that it looks that way with makeup as well, and make sure to blend down. Smells so good. It almost smells like sweet peach tea or something, in my opinion. And another good thing too is you can go very heavy-handed with this, and somehow it got some color back on the face, which is so nice, especially with spring hopefully around the corner. It's like 30-something degrees today, and I'm supposed to get some pictures, so that's gonna be so much fun. But that's just part of my job. 2 seasons ahead. Make sure this is really blended. Okay, so everything is blended, and something that I've been doing, like in the picture that I showed, I'm going to try to recreate that exact look for you guys. So something that I have been doing too is just using this set cream and just getting an eyeshadow brush and then putting this in my crease as well. Using your bronzer or even your blush as a crease color is going to give you a really seamless, clean look, and it also is a starting point if you want to go for a smoky eye, just to give you like a transition shade before you do that. But for every day, this is like perfect for me. And then I take the other end of this brush. This is also from Doll 10, but you can use eyeshadow brush or eyeliner brush, and I just go in on the bottom, just to kind of give my eyes a little bit of like a bronze smoky effect, but still a very natural look. So for all of you that ask me for like all these eyeshadow videos, I'm the worst person to ask ever. Because I'm done with my eyeshadow. Sometimes I will go in with like a palette and go darker, especially an evening wedding or like a special occasion or something, but honestly, this is about it for me. And I really like that because I like to focus on the skin, and eyelashes kind of are my thing, and also like a pretty lip color. So that's really hard to do for eyeshadows. This is great for work every day too, because it's clean and will last all day, but you don't look like you're about to go out for a night on the town, but you can also easily transition it to that if you would like to. So then for my eyebrows, I don't use a lot. I'm just going to go in with the Color Science powders and the brush that comes with it. It's like a little angled brush. And I don't do anything crazy. I just kind of shape them a little bit, especially right there at the front. I kind of like to square them off a little bit just to give some structure to the area around my eyes. And then I just take the tail of my brow a little bit further out. Okay, so I've got one brow done, and you can see how, although it is subtle, it really does make a difference to the shape. Like, even from this side of my face to this one, it looks much more structured just from an eyebrow. So your brows really do make a big difference. Let's see. Okay. So same thing over here. Just kind of making that squared off shape. And for everybody, it's different. So if you like a round brow, do what works best for you. This is just what I like. Then again, I will drag the tail out just a little bit. And I love this powder because it lasts all day long, but I find that a powder, I like to either use a powder or a very fine pencil. Natural for me. I already have pretty thick eyebrows naturally, so I don't want them to look like somebody got a Sharpie and kind of drew them on my face. So then I just take a spoolie and make sure that the product is evenly dispersed throughout. I just kind of brush that through. And you can set with a gel if you want to. I am lucky in that area because my brows literally don't move because they're so coarse. Really weird because the hair on my head is not very coarse, but the brows don't move. So that is lucky on my end. If yours do tend to move a lot, just get a brow gel. There's tons of great ones, clear or tinted, at the drugstore. Honestly, I've never used one that I think is terrible. So just take your pick. There are thousands to choose from. And then I like to go in with a sponge again in between powder and everything, just to make sure that everything is melting into the skin and not sitting on top. I'm going to go in with some blush. This is from Charlotte, and this is her Cheek to Chic Swish and Pop blush in First Love. And I love this color. It'll be great on like every single skin tone, and it builds really nicely too. So blush also is the first thing to go of your makeup, if you've ever noticed that. So my tip, especially if you have pictures, is to go heavier on your blush, because that will be the first thing to go and vanish in photos, just depending on the lighting and where you're taking them. So don't be afraid to go like a little bit heavy, because you'll be glad at the end of the day that you did, because it'll be gone. I'm so afraid it's going to like start erasing all these videos because I've never done so many before, but I'm trying to show you guys this because I got so many of you asking for it. So I'm going to kind of hurry a little bit more. I'm just going to throw on a lip color. I'm not going to line my lips today. This is Sugar Plum, and this is from L'Oreal. I really like this for a pretty pink color for spring and summer. And these are like the best of all time. I don't know why all these people post these lipsticks that are so expensive. These are like my ride or die. Anything from this brand is going to wear so well, and I like them because they're not dry at all, but they're also very long lasting. And you can throw a gloss or whatever on top. I just leave it because I feel like it still has a really pretty sheen, if you can tell from the video. So, love that color, and I also love Ferris Nude. That's like my favorite everyday nude lipstick. Okay, so I wanted to show you, most importantly, how to finish this bright under eye. So, I like to set my under eyes with the Too Faced that I already showed you guys before I do these two powders I'm about to show you, because I like to make sure that and the concealer is nice and set, because I don't like to use these just as a setting powder, if that makes sense. These have a totally different job for me than setting my makeup. They're more just for brightening. So this first one is the pink. Midnight. I know that sounds weird, but I told you guys earlier that I was going to be showing you some pink powder. So this is where the brush is going to come in, and all you do is tap it, and that's what it looks like. It's kind of like an Easter, if that makes sense, but it's like a pink dress you'd wear to church on Easter Sunday. That's the color that this is. And so I'm just going to tap this into the under eye, and what the pink does is it helps to brighten and cancel out any of the leftover darkness that the concealer might not have gotten. And I like to take this in a triangle shape, just like I did my concealer. And I'm not, with the pink one, I just tap it in. Okay, this is my favorite part. I've been so excited to share this, because it is so cheap, and this will last you, honestly, probably for 5 years, if not longer. I don't even know if the shelf life is that long, but it will last you for ages. So this is the Ben Nye Super White Powder. You probably see this all over Pinterest, all that kind of stuff. It is really cheap, and again, I'll link everything when I'm done. But this one I will buff instead of tap. And that is what it looks like. So it is literally super white powder. This is what I've been using to get a super bright under eye. And I just like to buff this. And I kind of take it up too, just to kind of give the eye a really nice lift. You can go with a little bit more. So you can see from this eye to this eye, I just look like a touch more awake, and it really does just kind of tie the eye look together, and it's just so pretty. And then to help to blend it in, I like to go back with my original sponge. It is still a little bit damp. And then I will do the same thing on this eye. Again, I like to go up to create a lift for the eye, and even on the sides of the nose to contour a little bit as well. And you can use this anywhere that you need some brightening, but I like it mainly for underneath the eyes. And it also just makes your under eyes look so smooth. So I just love that so much. So that's what I've been waiting to share with you guys, because I've been trying and tested out the two powders and then the under eye corrector. I've been using all three of those. Okay, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of highlighter. This is from Charlotte, her Film Star Bronzing Glow. Do that really quick. I don't do anything crazy for that. Go in with the bronzer side. And I'm also going to take this brush and do a very light contour on the nose. Okay, I'm going to do my the rest of my eyes off camera because it takes me way too long, and then I'll show you. But that's like the main gist of everything, so I hope this has been really helpful for you guys. Okay, so the rest of everything is completely done, and I thought that I would come and sit in front of a window with no filter to show you exactly what everything looks like as far as coverage and color and everything, because it can be kind of hard to tell with all those bright lights. But same work that I posted on my post on Saturday, so I really hope that all those steps helped, and I hope that all the videos actually stay up, because I don't think I've ever done that many stories in a row. But I wanted to break everything down because I got a lot of questions about it. So I will make on the makeup page that I have and update everything and link all the products. So if you have any questions, you probably can find it there, but feel free to ask me anything as well. So this is the finished look, and this will last me, honestly, if I didn't wash my face, it would be here this time tomorrow. That's how good it is. So I hope that this has helped you guys, and I will talk to you soon.